Well, despite strong links between Israel and American Jewry, Israelis often know little about the American Jewish community. To help narrow that gap, a new master's program for Jewish studies has been launched at Haifa University. IBA's Ariel Sullivan discussed the first-of-its-kind program with founder Jay Ruderman.
Israelis have to understand who this community is and what its interest is in Israel, because they still play a vital role politically, philanthropically, diplomatically within the United States.
Now, you were behind the caucus at the Knesset to educate Knesset members about the American political establishment, the American Jewry. Now you have this program that your Ruderman Foundation is pushing at the Haifa University. How is this having an impact so far? What can you tell is being done?
Well, first of all, I think that there's more awareness out there among members of the Knesset, among Israeli, we've taken 2 delegations of Knesset members to the United States to educate them on the American Jewish community. We've taken a delegation of journalists, Israeli journalists, to the United States to educate them on the American Jewish community. The caucus is an attempt to broaden the reach to more Knesset members. And now the establishment of the program at the University of Haifa, they're all steps in trying to bring this issue to the forefront. Because quite frankly, the discussion between the American Jewish community and Israel is always about Israel. It's the threats to Israel, what's happening with the relationship with the Palestinians, with Syria, Iran, Egypt. It's never about the American Jewish community and what's happening in that community and how that community is changing. Because if that community loses its connection to Israel, that will impact Israeli security. And I think Israeli leaders have to be cognizant of the changes going on in that community.
What have been some of the challenges when you speak to Israelis about teaching them about American Jewry, why it's important for them? What have they said?
I think people feel that they know the American Jewish community. Israelis feel they know it. And I think Israelis project themselves onto the American Jewish community. Just as American Jews, when they come here and they think of Israel, they project themselves onto Israel. But really, Israelis and Americans, American Jews, are very different from each other. And there's not a lot of understanding there.
Is this an attempt, perhaps, to create more of an inroad for American Jewish issues like Reform Judaism, about maybe the liberal agenda they have in Israel?
I don't know if I would phrase it the liberal agenda. I think that the American Jewish community is different. I think that the reform movement is a large movement. It's the largest movement within the United States. Israel is the only Jewish country in the world and holds itself out as the only Jewish country in the world. I'm not saying that American Jews should vote here, that their views should be taken into consideration when policy decisions are made, but I do think they should understand, I think Israeli leaders should understand the American Jewish community, that it's different, that Israel still relies on this community for philanthropic support, for political support. And I think what I'm advocating for through all of these programs is a more nuanced conversation.
But Jay, finally, how would you measure the success of what you're doing?
I think that the success is measured in policy, on how Israeli leaders are speaking to, that they're not making statements that are exacerbating tensions between the communities, that they're talking in a way that's respectful, that understands that there's a powerful Jewish community out there that's connected to Israel, and it's not like us in Israel. It's a different community.
Jay Ruderman, the president of the Ruderman Family Foundation, thanks for joining IBA.
Thanks for having me.